Welcome back to our final segment on Spotlight on Hawthorne. With me is the Hawthorne head librarian, Claudia Fisher. Claudia, welcome to Spotlight on Hawthorne.
Thank you, Gary.
Now, you're fairly new to Hawthorne. How long have you been at Hawthorne? Where'd you come from before the Hawthorne?
Well, I've been at the Hawthorne Library since September. Prior to that, I was at the Lloyd Tabor Marina Del Rey Library for about 7.5 years. And before that, I was at the Weisburn Library in Hawthorne. I was head librarian there. And prior to that, I was a reference librarian at Culver City. And in my years prior to that, I was once a substitute librarian at Hawthorne. So this is my third time in Hawthorne.
Okay, so you're a career librarian, can I say that?
Yes, you can.
Now, what was your motivation to go into library science? Can I use that word?
Yes, that's what they called my degree when I got it. Now it's information science or information studies. I liked libraries. I liked doing research for my classes when I was in college. And when I'd go visit friends at colleges and they were doing homework and stuff, I'd go off to the library just to check it out. And so when I was in college, I was thinking about, well, what do I want to do? Do I want to be a lawyer? That's 3 years. Ugh. Do I want to get an MBA? Oh, I'm not so good in accounting. And so I went to talk to the head of the library school, and he interviewed me and said, you have good eye contact. You seem personable. I think you'd make a great librarian. And in retrospect, I'm thinking, goodness, that's not a very good way to decide on a career, but it worked for me.
Oh, excellent. Now, the question I kind of ask is, we're in the age of the internet, and where kids basically log into the internet and do other research, and long gone are the World Books or the Encyclopedia Britannica, which my parents still have a copy at my house. Well, what is the value, or why do we still need libraries when we have the internet?
Well, for one thing, a lot of children don't have access to the internet at home. And if they do research at school, they're kind of limited by whatever the school hours are for accessing the internet. We still do circulate volumes of the encyclopedia. Not so much the Britannica anymore, but the World Book, which is still really good for young people. The library is a place to go when you need more than the kind of superficial research you can do easily on the internet. We're a place that can teach you how to use what's in the library, how to use a database. The library, for instance, subscribes to databases that have magazine articles attached, so that, for instance, if someone's looking for the economic aspects of September 11th, and there aren't a lot of books written on that, and the paper they're writing is due tomorrow, they need something right away. And if we don't have books, they can get articles from these databases. They can access them from home using their library card and the web page. But if they come in, they've got experts right there to help them, to suggest keywords, to suggest ways to search things.
So if I'm a student, could be at any grade level, and I say I'm doing research on the 9/11 or any type of topic, I can come see you, one of your staff, and they can give me some keywords to help me actually find articles for my report.
Yes, and the articles actually print out. Where in the old days, when you and I were in high school, you'd go through the reader's guide and you'd write down the article's name and publication and all that. Then you'd have to go find the article.
Yes.
And if that library didn't have it, you'd have to wait a few days for them to send it. And all that we still can do, because people sometimes come in and need articles from the year they were born, or they're looking at aspects of World War II. But we can just send into one central clearinghouse the fact that we need Time magazine from December 6th, 1944, page 55. And then the article will appear within a day for no charge.
So someone can do a Google search and get 1,000 hits. They can come to you and you can kind of narrow it down, what you're saying.
Yes, we try to teach people how to be judicious users of the internet. Since there's no controlling authority out there, there can be false information sites. Sites saying that the Holocaust didn't take place, or that Martin Luther King was not a sincere person. And so we teach people how to look at a site and how to determine if the information on it looks factual.
Okay.
And people come in often and say, I tried to find this on the internet and I can't find it, so there must be a book. And we'll do the search with them, and we'll show them how we're doing it. Maybe we're using Boolean logic, or maybe we're using a different search engine.
Right.
Or they need photographs, and they haven't been able to find an image of this thing they're looking for, and we show them how to do it. And so we're teaching and guiding through the internet, because there's a lot out there, but it's not always appropriate, and it's not always as in-depth as people want.
Okay. Now, you actually have computers at the library that have internet access, and people who don't have a computer can go to your library and actually access the internet.
Yes.
Is that correct?
We have 8 public access computers that we give out on hour-long appointments. And all you need is your library card number. You have to be in good standing, so you can't owe more than $3. And to access the internet, once you've made your appointment, you need a little PIN number. And that's the same number you would use to renew books online or to order things. Then we have a 15-minute visitor's computer for people that are just passing through, or that want to just check their email, or their printer at home has died. This is really common. And they come to the library with a disk, and they need to print whatever's on the disk. And so they just need a short term.
Now, the internet, there's a lot of bad stuff on the internet, and kids use a library. Now, if a minor comes in, now can a parent request that the filter be put on the internet computer so they can't access everything?
Yes. When a child is given internet privileges, their parent actually has to come into the library and sign the form in front of us. It's not something they can take home and have a friend sign for them. So if the parent chooses for the child to have filtered internet up until the age of 18, that is what they get. If a child plops down on a computer and they're not using their library card number, they have to log in as a visitor, and visitor internet is filtered.
It's filtered. Okay, so an adult can go in and there's no filtering on the adult.
If they've signed up and have a library card, they're automatically given unfiltered internet unless they ask to have filtered, and that's an option for adults as well.
So there's freedom of speech and there's protecting children.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Let's talk, what type of children's programs do you offer in both the Hawthorne and Weisburn Library?
Okay, well, the Weisburn Library has story time at 7 o'clock on Tuesday nights, and they also have story time on Saturday mornings at 10. And the Hawthorne Library has family story hour at 2 o'clock on Saturday afternoons, and we've just started a new story time. It's bilingual story time on Friday mornings at 11. And so we'll be reading stories in English and in Spanish, and we'll be doing finger plays and songs in English and in Spanish. So there's a Spanish-speaking staff member that's doing the Spanish side, and then the English-speaking staff member doing the English side. So that's just beginning Fridays again at 11.
Now we have some books here. Now I guess you have children's books in both English and Spanish?
And Chinese and Vietnamese, yes. And we have lots of other materials at the library. It's not just a place where books are stored. We still have newspaper on film, so if you need the LA Times back to the late 70s, we have it. We get La Opinión every day in Spanish. We have quite a large Spanish collection, actually. We get magazines still, and although we don't check out to you the most recent copy, the older copies can check out. We have music on CD, we have videos, we have DVDs, we have books on both cassette and then also books on CDs, because cars these days don't have cassette players any longer, they have CDs, and people that travel a lot in their cars like these because it keeps their mind going. We have large print books so that for those that are having visual impairments, the large print's easy to read. I can even read this without my glasses. And here's a book in Spanish. And then our particular library has some special collections. We have the Sam's Photofax. And so for people that are repairing televisions or old-time radios or even computers, we have the diagrams for fixing those sorts of things. And we have a great automotive collection for automotive repair manuals. We're very, very strong in the 60s and 70s, and then we have Mitchell manuals and Chilton's and a lot of the manufacturer's original manuals. So Hawthorne is a repository for those things too.
Now, are different libraries have different collections? And what are some of the collections other libraries have?
Yes. Because the county doesn't have one main library like the LA Public Library, we've put special collections in a lot of the large libraries. So for instance, the Norwalk Library has our business collection. The Montebello Library has our Asian Pacific Resource Center. The A.C. Bilbrew Library has our Black Resource Center. The new East Los Angeles Library has the Chicano Resource Center. The Lloyd Tabor Marina Del Rey Library has the Nautical Collection for the county. And the Carson Library here in our area has the CHIPS collection, which is called the California Health Information Program. And this is a place for people to refer and ask medical questions and get answers in a language that they can understand in kind of a format that's meant for consumers.
And do I have to go to the Carson Library if I want medical information, or can I go to the Hawthorne Library and get it?
You can come to the Hawthorne Library for really basic information, and then I can refer your question on to the Carson Library, or you can call them directly, and then they respond to you directly. It doesn't come back through me.
Okay. Now, something I read in your brochure, I can't believe this, but it's got to be true, it's written, is if I'm online and I can be 2 o'clock in the morning as a college student, 2 o'clock in the morning is very typical, and I can go online, and 24 hours a day, there's a librarian online that can answer my questions. Is that true?
Yes, that is true. That is true. It's called 24/7. And to access this, you just go onto our webpage, and there's a little icon down near the bottom. It says 24/7, a live librarian. And generally, if it's 2 a.m. in California, you're not getting a librarian in California, you're probably getting a librarian in Australia or in another part of the English-speaking world. And this person is contracted to answer questions. If they're not working at their library, if they're working at home, they have a small reference collection handy. But mostly what they're trending to do is push web pages to you to help you find information or to help you find the answer that you're looking for.
So again, I can ask the question online, look for information on whatever, Alzheimer's.
Yes.
And they'll come back and give me some web pages or suggested sources for that.
Right. They might even look at the catalog for the jurisdiction where you live in terms of the public library and suggest, well, you might want to contact this library because it looks like, for instance, the West Hollywood Library has a very good HIV collection, and they might be able to answer your questions.
Okay. Now, what does it take to get a library card? What's the qualification to get a library card?
Well, if you're a minor, all we need is your parent or guardian signature. And that's up to age 18. If you're over 18, we would like to see a picture ID of some sort, so either a driver's license or an ID card. It doesn't have to be from our state, but if it's not from our state, we'd like to see a piece of mail, a bill, a utility bill, something that's got your name and the address here in California. It just has to be in California. There's no charge for the first card. If you lose it, it's $2.50 to replace it. But to use the county library services is completely free.
Now, once I get my library card, do I get like a PIN code so I can go online and use all the online library services?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
You can also come into the library and use those services right in the library online, because not only do we have those public access internets with the internet and word processing, but we have about 12 catalog computers in the library as well, so that you can always access the catalog and the databases and the 24/7 librarian. If you didn't want to talk to one of us, you could actually, from our webpage, go talk to another librarian.
Now, do you have access to like LexisNexis and databases like that?
We don't subscribe to LexisNexis. We subscribe to InfoTrack right now. LexisNexis is a little bit more research-oriented than the public needs at a public library situation.
Okay, that makes sense then. Now, on some of the videos, I think you actually have some first run videos in your library that you can check out for, what, $1 or something like $2 or?
Well, the Friends of the Library have a rental collection of recently released videos and DVDs. And then when the items aren't so popular anymore, they get moved into the free collection. So then you borrow them for 7 days and they're free. If they're late, though, after 7 days, then it's $2 a day. So we've always had that long return period like Blockbuster's going to.
Right. I've been impressed by the collection of videos you got in your local library there. And I pay $5 at Blockbuster, and I can walk down to the Weisman Library and pay $1 or pay nothing.
Right. You can request a feature film that's current. If you don't want to pay the rental, you can get yourself on a request list. And that's another thing. People that read a lot find it a little hard these days to spend $28, $30 on a book. And they're only going to read it once, and if they don't want to keep it in their library, you know, do they really want to spend that money? But if they call the library and have their card handy, they can request it. We put them on the request list for the book, and they get notified by mail when it comes in. And we hold it for 12 days. So if they happen to be on vacation and miss it, it then goes on to the next person on the list.
Now, you know, I pay $30 for a book, and I hate to put it in my bookshelf. It just sits there. Now, it's in good shape when I'm done with it. Now, can I just give that book to you guys?
Oh,
so people
yes.
Can, okay.
We look at every single donation and we decide, do we need it at this library? Does Weisburn need it? Does Lawndale or Gardena need it? If one of our co-libraries in the system doesn't need it, we look at the rest of the system. And then we think, well, is it in good enough shape to sell? Okay, then let's put it out in the Friends of the Library book sale. And all the money made from that is spent locally.
You know, what are Friends of the Library? What is that group about?
Well, it's a group of people that support the libraries in Hawthorne, and it's the Friends of the Hawthorne Libraries. And when they originally started, there were 3 libraries in Hawthorne. The Holly Glen Library was closed. Holly Park Library, excuse me, was closed in the early 1990s. But they raise money through the video and DVD rentals, through their annual book sales. Actually, they have 2 book sales per year. Through the ongoing book sales that we have in the library, and through donations. And so they then approve expenditures on behalf of the library. Okay.
Now, if I want more information, is there a county library webpage I can go to?
Yes, yes. It's www.colapub.org.
Okay, we're going to put that on the screen so people can see that website address.
It's for County of Los Angeles.